How do you extract important information out of someone? Like trying to get somebody to give you their best feedback or their best opinion.
Oh. When you said the first half of the question, I was like, torture. For the second half, I'm not.
A lot of YouTube channels, a lot of scholars, a lot of influencers, they all kind of repost the same thing. When you walk in a room, when you're in a meeting, don't talk. Let everybody else talk. Keep on listening, and be the last to speak, right?
Right.
There's definitely wisdom in that, right? You let people share, you feel like their opinion matters, etc., etc., etc. In a meeting of 20 people, if you're the last to share, 19 people, each spending 20 minutes, yes, you acknowledge everybody's opinion.
Right.
But sometimes that's not the most efficient way to get the best opinion from that room at that setting. So if you want to do that, in my opinion, you have to reverse the whole thing.
Okay.
You cannot be the last to speak.
Okay.
You're the first to speak. And you're not just speaking any gibberish. You go into the meeting and you give your best proposal. And then you let everybody critique the heck out of it. And then they're like, you're obviously have no idea what you're talking about. Or people like to show how much smarter they are.
Yeah.
So when you present your best, they critique it, then within a few minutes, you're able to get the best.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Because then everyone wants to contribute right away.
Immediately, it's like, that's the best by the boss? Okay, well that's dumb because, right? And then they share all this, and then you are almost like the common enemy.
Yes.
Everybody kind of attacking you. You're cutting away all the BS.
Like you're getting people to attack you,
Yeah.
but not really,
Right.
because you're doing that intentionally.
Right.
And so you're really just getting people to talk about what you want them to talk about.
Right.
And you're kind of getting all the attention,
Yeah.
like off the bat,
Right.
Is
And yeah, if you just let your ego aside, if the goal is to try to get the best,
Right.
Presenting your best and doing your homework first before talking to somebody, I think is the way to go. Last week we were talking about grief and how to deal with like words that should have been said, that weren't spoken, or things that you shouldn't have said but you said instead, and how to deal with that, and how that can inform your life. As I was doing this research, we actually found additional things that's actually really fun on how to deal with trauma.
Oh, wow.
It's playing Tetris.
Really?
There's so many studies
Really?
that have shown if you experience trauma, doesn't matter which age group, what gender, right after you experience trauma, if you start immediately playing Tetris, the lasting effects of that trauma goes away, or you recover a lot faster. Now, they
Really?
try to do a lot of different studies to try to counter that, but I was shocked by that study. It makes sense, but I'm just shocked that there's this thing exists, right?
Yeah,
because
totally.
in Tetris, the one thing that you encounter again and again and again is life happens. This unfortunate situation happened where there's this missing little hole now.
Yeah.
But based on your intelligence, based on your ability to maneuver everything else, sometimes you can go back and rescue that problem.
Right.
Right? And then you overcome it, and then eventually you go on with your life. So something that negative happened is not going to permanently impair your life. That's a lesson that Tetris teaches.
Wow.
Within a very short amount of time. And everybody knows how to play Tetris. So I was like, if that's the case, every hospital should just have Tetris like everywhere, right?
Totally.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Dealing with something as severe as like grief and trauma, sometimes a simple solution like playing Tetris can have such a lasting and big impact. There's one quality associated with people who are successful in this society. What do you think that quality is?
Greed or selfishness, maybe like self-preservation. I don't know if that's a quality.
Pretty close.
Really?
Being assertive.
Oh.
Right, and so a lot of assertive people, they keep on challenging others. They get what they want. But how do you improve that assertiveness? And also, how do you do it in a way that you don't sacrifice your actual life? Because sometimes if you're really assertive, that could turn people off.
Right.
You could lose your friends and family.
I saw you push the women and children out of the way in a mad panic. I saw you knock them down.
Seemingly. To the untrained eye, I can fully understand how you got that impression.
And in law school, we're actually taught this. We're not taught to be assertive, but we're taught in depositions how to get the right answer from somebody, right? Because in deposition, as lawyers, we have to extract information we need on behalf of our client. So we have to keep on asking questions until we get what we want. Oftentimes in depositions, we are asking, what were you doing on this day? The obvious response almost by everyone is, I don't remember.
Right.
Or how much money were you carrying that day?
Guess what? Guess what? I don't recall.
Well, let me help you. Was it $2? No. Was it $200,000? No. Okay. Was it $5? Was it $100,000? No. Okay. So you do know something. Let's try together to figure it out, right? So a lot of times in depositions, you're not trying to make the other person feel bad. You're aiming at the truth, and you're working together. So yes, you are asking questions again and again and again, but the purpose of it is so that we can arrive at the truth together. I can understand. It's very reasonable that you don't remember exactly. If I were you, I probably wouldn't either. But now let's try again, right? So, let's change it to a different circumstance. I remember one time I was ordering a very basic drink, but I was overseas. An iced tea with soy. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Super simple.
Yeah.
But apparently nobody in that country has ever ordered that before. And that barista was like, sorry, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really? And then I was shocked because I never gotten that response from Starbucks before.
Right.
And so I asked, do you have iced tea? Yeah. Do you have soy? Well, I believe you could do it. Right? And they're like, I believe I can. And so it's never, being assertive doesn't mean I want my way and I'm bossing you.
Right.
It's we're on the same page and let's try to do this together. And if non-assertive, shy, introverted people can just position themselves and understand that, if you can just make your request known, again, every time you've been denied, every time you are denied, just slow down and make your request known again and again, and maybe again. Again, you're not trying to make other people feel bad.
Right.
But if you could just do that, I guarantee you, your life will be so much better.
Wow.
Because this world is made for assertive people.
Yeah. My mentality right off the bat when I get no is more, it's like I still want what I want, and I don't back away from it right away. So I say I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I don't just like be like, oh, that's okay, so I'm so sorry. But I will automatically switch to like a compromise or like somewhere, like almost like bartering, or it's like, okay, you said no, but like I still want it. So like maybe I can get like 90%, which works, but I guess
you are compromising when you don't necessarily need to.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I want a frappuccino with soy. Sorry, I can't do that. Okay, just a frappuccino then.
Oh God. Okay.
Right. So much of retirement planning and trying to make money investing is so you can have, so you can spend.
Yeah.
So if you know how to spend, then that kind of alleviates all of it. And no matter how much you have, right?
Yeah,
Even if you win the lottery, if you spend incorrectly, you lose it all.
Right.
So this segment is about how do you spend.
Oh, I love that.
And I don't think people learn that.
No.
And a lot of the principles that we do learn is not exactly all correct, right? Like the principle, buy only what you need, not what you want. Sure, if we are in a third world country, right?
Right.
Yes, we are in a, like we're lucky enough to be living where we are, to have the income we are. It's okay to buy a little bit of what we want and not just what we need.
I think I grew up kind of with the mentality that spending, kind of like any sort of frivolous spending is bad.
Right.
Right. And so like, if you're buying something nice or buying something you want or buying something you don't need, that's like foolish.
What other principles don't really work? Won't buy only things that are on sale?
Yeah.
That's not true, right?
Right.
Some of the favorite things and best things never go on sale.
Right.
And some of the worst things, there's a reason why it's on sale. One thing that I found that's really helpful is just applying business principles to shopping. Just learning to spot good deals, right? Because when you are buying a stock, you really, really shouldn't be gambling where you're just buying low and selling high, or buying high and trying to sell higher. a lot of that is gambling, right? But when you apply a lot of what Warren Buffett and other people teach, it's you're buying it for the intrinsic good. It doesn't matter if this thing falls in price the next day or the next week. You bought it because of its value, because of what it contributes to your life, not necessarily the equity worth of it, but maybe your happiness, maybe, and eventually if it goes up in value because of the intrinsic value you bought it at, then it's really great. There's this book by Tom Hartford, The Undercover Economist. And he's saying when you're shopping at Whole Foods, everything is super expensive. You kind of want to buy the most expensive generic brand. So they carry really expensive other types of orange juices, but their normal cheap brand is the highest quality of the normal orange juices that you would buy normally. And that's actually the best value because they cannot jack up that price because of the other prices. So knowing the intrinsic worth of something, and so it doesn't matter the price fluctuation, even if it's retail not on sale, you could still make the purchase and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, often the stuff that's bigger in price, it could be not worth much, but often it is correlated to kind of like you're saying, like perceived or inherent value of the product. And so if you're always, you know, buying like, okay, like this shirt is like 3 for $10 and it's like, it is cheaper, but you're not, so much of the pleasure of the product comes from the, like, how much value it has. And so, I don't know, like a really nice t-shirt might, like it'll make you feel better every single day and it'll also last way longer and just be, it'll actually add to your life as opposed to the only real add is when you're paying for it, if that makes sense. Like, oh, like, wow, I got so much for, and then you're happy, but you take it home and it's like not that great.
Right.
And it's not going to suddenly become better just because it was cheap.
Applying these type of business principles, what are you really spending on? And don't just be stuck with just a generic idea.
Yeah.
That can get you so much further in life. And that's it for episode 3 of season 3.
Yay.
Yay!